Hey, I'm Marcus.
And I'm Atrax.
We are working class nerds.
Cue the intro.
That's right. We are Working Class Nerds, the podcast that gives you no information about your favorite information. Today is Thursday, February 24th, 2022, and you can find this East Coast is the Best Coast podcast on Apple Podcasts, Buzzsprout, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and anywhere you can find a podcast in the galaxy far, far away. You can also watch me play Destiny on stream Tuesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays at twitch.tv/MarcusB814.
And you can see me also play whatever I feel like Saturday, Sunday, and Monday nights at twitch.tv/A_Atrax.
And you can find the both of us on Twitter. I am at MarcusB814.
And I am at Atrax_A. And this week's episode, the West Coast is taking over. I stole Nick's job as co-host while he moves. And our guest today is taking this show out of its body even more. He is a Twitch streamer and rock star of the Portland metro area. It's Mr. Out of Body. Welcome to the show. And what have you been up to?
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for having me. Long time listener, first time caller. I've been enjoying the podcast for a long time, so thank you for having me. First of all, I'm super stoked for this, so I appreciate it. But not much has been up with me, man. Just been streaming. I've been doing a few things differently in the stream world as far as my channel has been going. I've been just changing a few things. I'm primarily a music streamer, but recently I've been doing some gaming late nights. It's mostly literally like the middle of the night when I can't sleep, because I'm the kind of person that doesn't go to bed until 3 a.m. minimum. And so if I'm already awake and I'm already playing video games, I might as well hit go live and see if any of the homies want to come hang out. So kind of been doing that a little bit more recently. Between that and my job and my girlfriend, life stays pretty busy, and I feel like I've been doing pretty good lately.
That is pretty busy.
Yeah,
I get it. But what time do you have to get up for work?
Oh man, not early. You're not going to be happy when you hear this, because you're probably an early morning guy. So honestly, the earliest I ever have to be there is like 10:45 is the earliest shift, and so it's super. I work a restaurant job. So it's usually I either work a lunch shift or a dinner shift. Saturdays I usually work like all day, but during the week I try to do just one shift. So either like stream in the morning and then work at night, or vice versa is kind of how I do it. Plus I'm a moderator for Director Chronic, and I spend a lot of time in there. And as a Garrison stream team member too, I like to spend a lot of time supporting the other members of the community. So I do spend a lot of time on Twitch. I'll say that.
Well, I think we all do, right?
Totally.
I can say for myself that I don't really even watch TV unless there's a specific TV show like The Mandalorian, Boba Fett, or something else that like it's like, Marcus, you have to watch this. I'm not watching it. I'll give an example. I've been watching The Expanse. Do you guys know what that is?
I don't.
It's a sci-fi show. It's a sci-fi show, and I was told how awesome it is, and I love sci-fi. It's just, but like, I'll watch an episode and then not watch it again for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It's not that I don't like it. It's that if I'm in front, like if it's nighttime, the kids are asleep, the wife's chilling watching The Bachelor or whatever crap show she's watching, I'll come down to my computer, and like, I don't like to watch a TV show on my computer because I don't feel as if it's as comfortable, but I'll just find myself in Twitch. And then next thing you know, there's like 9 tabs of Twitch open and each one has just a tiny little volume on it, except the one that I'm watching. And then I'll switch to that one, turn the volume down on the other one. And like, because you meet so many awesome people in Twitch and you want to support them. And everybody needs to know, if you're listening to this and you're a Twitch streamer, if somebody doesn't come to your podcast, oh my God, if somebody doesn't come to your stream every day, it's okay. They still care about you. Like, don't think that the people don't care about you. there's just so many people in the Twitch community, and you want to always make sure that you're stopping by to say hi, because you never know. Atrax might be streaming Elden Ring, and I have the Rip That Guy sound effects that I'll be playing in my own ear while he's playing it. When he's streaming it, I'll be pushing the Rip That Guy button. Like, I can't wait for that. So other people's streams that I normally would be watching, I probably won't be, because I'll be enjoying watching Atrax get his ass whooped in Elden Ring. But anyway, so Out of Body, like, you're not a normal streamer in the sense of, like, if all of us close our eyes and think about what a Twitch streamer is, you're thinking Shroud, Ninja, all the big names playing video games. Totally. That's not your thing.
Totally. And that was, I think I kind of stumbled onto Twitch in general as it is. I honestly never expected myself to be streaming on Twitch. Basically so I'll take you back a little bit. So what happened is, during the pandemic is, I had a lot of free time, so I was playing a lot of video games. I bought Star Wars Battlefront 2 because I had played the original game on PlayStation 2 growing up. I played the hell out of that game with my brothers and my cousin, and we used to love Battlefront 2. And because I actually didn't get my PC until about a year and a half ago, something like that. So when I got the PC, I just started looking through games that I was interested in. Battlefront 2 was the first one that came up, and I had a group of friends that I had kind of played with on Discord for a while, but they just were not as big of fans of Battlefront 2 as I was. And I wanted to play it all the time, and they just wanted to keep playing other games. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to find somebody who enjoys playing it, right? So I went on Twitch. I had created a Twitch a few months prior just to, like, follow a few friends. I had never really watched many of them or anything. But yeah, the very first person that I ever, like, I went into the Battlefront 2 category, and I was browsing, and the top person at the time was a guy named Director Chronic. I pressed, the like button, and the first thing he says is, dude, welcome in. Nice to meet you. He's, like, very personal about talking to his chat, even though he's got, at that time too, it was, right in the height of when Battlefront was popping. And so his stream was always crazy, and his chat was flying by. And I was always just, like, so amazed that this guy is still, like, communicating with people so well. And, like, I honestly felt like I had gained a new friend, and everybody in that community, not everybody, but most of the people in that community were playing the game too. And so, I joined his Discord channel and found other people to play with, and just met a bunch of good people in the community. Never honestly really had any intention of streaming. What happened is I had played Battlefront 2 a lot with Serp. Back when he was maining Battlefront 2 as well. I used to join him for games a lot, and he was like, he always said anytime I'd finish a game with him, he'd be like, so why aren't you streaming? Why aren't you streaming? Why are you doing this? And I was like, I don't know, man. Was never in the plan. I never really thought it was a thing I would do. And he's like, well, you should just do it. And I was like, let me think about it. And he just kept pressuring me. And eventually what happened is, like, he kept shouting me out. There's a couple other people that would, like, constantly shout me out and be like, well, until you start streaming, we're going to keep shouting you out. And I was like, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't work that way. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be the opposite. But I ended up having 100 followers before I even went live, which is crazy to me. And so that was a big thing for me, being at almost 100 followers. I was like, shoot, might as well, at this point. And I already owned all the equipment. Like, obviously I have a pretty nice microphone. I'm a musician, and so I have a lot of this stuff. I had basically my own studio set up in my house. It's kind of what I turned this streaming space into.
Sure.
And so, I already had all the equipment. The only thing I really had to buy was the webcam and a couple lights,
Party lights.
Yeah. I just had to do that, and I was on my way. At first I was doing variety. But really, music has always been my passion. Like, I've been doing music for a long time. We can kind of get into my music background in a second too. It's extensive and long. But yeah, I was originally doing just, I was doing a different thing every day. Some days it was chatting, some days it was video games and stuff. And I don't know, I kind of just got to the point where I felt like, I almost felt obligated to go play video games on a certain day because that was my schedule. And even if I just wanted to play music, you know what I mean? That wasn't on the agenda for the day, and I always felt restricted by that. And so for me, I just made the switch over to full-time musician because music is what I love to do. And I'm constantly playing music in my room by myself, so it was kind of same deal as I said earlier. Like, if I'm already there and I'm already doing it, I might as well hit go live, and if people want to join and hang out and listen, like, even better. If not, I'm already doing it anyways. Yeah, so it's no skin off my back.
And what you've turned it into as well with the song requests and the song list, people can come in and either anonymously or they can sign in with their Twitch account, so their names are tied to the song. I mean, it's really cool that you've like turned that passion into now a stream too.
Thank you. Thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, it was not an original idea, I'll tell you that. There's and here's the thing, this is the crazy part too. I didn't really explore the music category in Twitch very much before I started streaming music myself. I was really only here hanging out with video gamers, Chronic and Serp and all the people that are now Garrison members, the former members of Guardians of the Order, you know what I mean? Like those are the guys that I used to hang out in their streams constantly because we were in quarantine. We had nothing better to do. So I would just sit and, watch them play video games, and never really thought of Twitch as a music thing. But the more I got into it, I was like, I should probably branch out and meet other music people. And since I've met a ton of I know a bunch of great musicians on Twitch now, and can always recommend a bunch of them. But yeah, it's the whole song list idea wasn't necessarily an original idea. There are other streamers who do it, but I will say nobody's got the same list as I do, at least. So
well, nobody is you.
Yeah,
you're right. You are you, and you listen. All three of us stream, right? So everybody has their different spice, and not everybody is for somebody.
Totally.
The thing is like, I've watched some other music streamers that are in your chat that you mention or you shout out, and you're like, hey, listen, I'll give somebody a chance. You know what I mean? Totally. And then you go to their stream and you're like, fuck, that's not out of body. Like, this isn't my, like, whether it's like they're too bubbly or they're missing something. You know what I mean? And
the music style isn't yours. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And whatever the case is, and there's nothing wrong with their stream. It's just, it's not you or me or Atrax.
Mm-hmm.
So each person has their own flavor. And once somebody finds that flavor that they like, they stick to it.
Totally.
Like vanilla ice cream. That's my baby right there. Right. I'll eat other ice creams, but vanilla is my jam. You know what I mean? And right. I will say it's like, and it's tough to meet new streamers, right? Because I've gone it now that like I'm playing a lot more Destiny and stuff. Like I go into a lot of Destiny streamers streams, and I'll tell you, there's not like out of 10 of them, maybe 3 of them catch my ears.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Ooh, totally. That G Fuel's kicking in. But like for real, like the passion that once you get to know a streamer. And Twitch moves very fast compared to real life, right? You spend 2 streams with somebody, you feel like that streamer. You can really feel it. Like you watch somebody for an hour, you know who that person is.
Totally.
In that streaming, you know what I mean? Yeah. Obviously, if shit hits the fan, that's a different story. But still, I don't know. For me, there's a lot of streamers out there, but if they're not you, then what do you know what I mean? It's
not the same.
Yes, thank you. That's what makes all of our channels different than everybody else's. Atrax.
Yes.
What have you been up to this week and the past couple?
Oh my goodness. So we're going to talk about this a little bit later, but I am bursting at the seams with fun stuff from Elden Ring. That game.
No, we're getting into that shit right now.
Right now? Okay.
Right now.
Right now. Like this is our time. I'm dying to talk about this game with you.
Oh, this is so great. So I'll give a little bit of like my kind of background because some people know the Souls series, some people don't. This company From Software has developed quite a few games with this basic difficulty level, and kind of they have a very specific world. And the game doesn't give you like quest markers. The game doesn't tell you where to go. It just unknowingly gives you enough information. It tells you what the story is, so it gives you like the setting, and then it just puts you there. And it says, all right, now go explore stuff. And as you explore in the world, you find out more about what's going on. And okay, well, there's all these like lords. So I have to go kill all these lords because I have to unite, like, so there's very deep story, and the game helps you through it, through the story. It tells you what to do based off of the story. This game is the same style right off the bat. In the beginning, it's kind of vague, but it basically tells you, hey, you've got to go get this Elden Ring. The pieces are scattered and these super powerful people scoop them up. Go get them.
Superpowers.
Right. And without spoiling like any of the tutorial or anything like that, the game gets going right away. In my mind, it has improvements from Dark Souls. So the company has made the Dark Souls series, Sekiro, Bloodborne, and some other games. I'm not sure if they made Nioh 2 or not, but
I don't think they did.
I don't think so. So they've made those games, and this already playing it feels like they've taken the best of those games and put it into this one. So in Dark Souls, when you're exploring and you're running around, you're using your stamina up. Even though you're not fighting, you're just running around, all your stamina is going away. In this game, when you're exploring, you don't use your stamina when you're running and jumping and doing stuff. But when you get into combat, then your dodge rolls and your stamina starts using when you run around. It's a great combat system to make it exploration easy, but then the combat still has that difficulty of managing your stamina. You can't just dodge forever.
I remember playing Bloodborne. I went to a friend's house. It just got out, and he was so excited for the game. And I remember you logged in and you started to play, and the first enemy was like a boss. And it's like, and literally we played it for 2 hours, and I finally said to him, I looked at him, I was like, can you return this game? Like, I think there's something wrong with this game. And he goes, no, dude, this is the game. This game is ultra hard, and you have to try as hard as you can to try to win and like learn. There's only a couple ways to beat this boss, and you have to learn the flow of it. It's like a dance, just like a raid in an MMO. And I'm like, dude, the boss hits me with his t-shirt and I'm dead. And he's like, yeah.
Right.
And so I hung out for another hour, and he just played it back and over and over and over. He finally beat it. He jumped up in the air. He's like, ah! And I'm just like, yeah, this game isn't for me. That's why I'm so excited for Elden Ring, because Elden Ring was modeled after Breath of the Wild. It's a complete, like, it's not a rendition, but the game is modeled with the complete open concept. Here's the end goal. Here's the things you have to do, which you got to kill lords. Instead, it's whatever they're called in Breath of the Wild. I forget. They're the dungeons, but the calamities. Right. I don't remember. But there was 4 of those, right? So it's the same thing, but it's go whatever way you want. Like, we're not here to tell you what to do. We're not telling you where to explore. Just go. Like, complete open world. And that's what this game is.
Yeah, so there's a map, which is great, because in all the previous, the Soulsborne games, as they kind of overarchingly call them, didn't have a map. And I haven't played super into it, so I don't know if I just know it's the same company, and a majority of the gameplay feels similar already. I've only played like an hour and a half. But I'm really excited because already I've run into an enemy that I was very clearly not supposed to go fight until like later. I tried dodging around. I tried looking for environment and stuff. I just did like no damage whatsoever for 20 minutes. So I'm like, all right, I'll just come back to that and I'll go elsewhere. Looking around, just when you first come out of the tutorial kind of area and looking around, there is so much, and I can't wait to unpack it. I'll be playing tomorrow night, Saturday night, Sunday night. I can't wait to dive into this game. It looks so good.
But it's also too one of those games that, like, if you don't play it all the time, like if you don't commit it to playing it and you don't play it for a day or two, you're going to get rusty, and it's going to be the whole learning curve all over again. Because I feel like using the Xbox controller or the PlayStation controller, it's like you need to learn the movements of your hands as well as the game mechanics to be able to not die.
Yeah, yes and no. These games very much reward patience and like trying to learn. So it's almost advantageous when you first run into a new enemy to almost just not fight it, but dance around and dodge and see how its attacks, hit, how some of them are really slow, some are super fast, some do poison, some are AoE, right? And it's beneficial because then oh, I can just attack here when there's nothing going on. And that stuff, more or less, yeah, some of it goes away, but also you kind of, once you know how to play those types of games, I feel like they get, in a way, just a little bit easier. They're still super difficult, but once you get over that hump of like, oh, this is how the game wants you to play it, it's
right.
It's kind of easy.
I'm telling you, man, it's definitely it's definitely wild. Because so I watched the spoiler reviews because I'm never gonna play this game ever.
Right,
this is not my style of game, but I do love friends getting punished in the sense of like watching them struggle. Well, like in anything, I'm Oh No plays, right? Oh No, that dude plays the hardest Super Mario Maker maps there are. He's like, if it doesn't say only 1% of the people that play it or less have beaten this map, this is my map. This is my level to play. And I'm like, the fuck? Whatever happened to just going getting your mushroom
right.
and just running down and Koopa Troopa, jump over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This dude's doing like the flying, dancing, bouncing off shells and all this shit. And you're like, it's amazing to watch,
really
for
is.
me, because I can't do it. You know what I mean? And it's not that I can't, it's not me. Just like a Bourne game or a Souls game, it's amazing for me to watch because I'm just like, I'd throw a fucking controller. I would have to have legit 3 controllers because the boss is almost dead and then he does a secret twisty move that you don't know about because it's the move he does at 1%. Now you got to start over.
Yep.
And now you got to spend another hour trying to get to the same point.
Yep.
But then again, I nightmare raid in an MMO. So what's the difference?
Yeah, that's a good question. For me, what's really drawn, because I had the same feeling, Marcus, for years. The very first time when Dark Souls 1 came out, I bought it and I was like 14 and I got so mad that when I first played it, I got so mad I threw it across the room. I was just pissed. I just took it out of the Xbox and just threw it. I was so mad. But after watching, and it really started with Dark Souls 3, my favorite boss fight ever, like in gaming, is in Dark Souls 3. It's the Sister Frieda fight. And it's just the music, the arena, the moves, I don't know, everything about it is so great. And that's what really drew me to like, all right, fine. You know what? I'm going to push myself to play this game because the worlds and the lore are that good. And I think Elden Ring is going to be the exact same way. And I'm excited to dive into it.
Dude, it's gotten 10s across the board.
Yeah.
One of the spoiler things I'm not going to tell you is this dude was walking somewhere and he was just hanging out. He wasn't fighting nothing. It was like the most peaceful place on earth. And then all hell broke loose.
Yeah.
Like insane hell broke loose. And I'm like, where the fuck did that come from?
Yep.
Like, and I'm just like, man, my heart would be racing.
Oh yeah. It's a rush. It's pretty great.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
To watch you die.
Oh yeah.
You have to have a death counter.
I will.
I
will.
There's like I have a fail counter on mine, like where everybody can add fails to my my night. Right. But like you need to have a death counter because track how many times you died.
And I'm considering, because in that game, right, if you die, all of your accrued, they're called runes in this game, all of your accrued souls, runes, whatever, progress towards the next level get dropped where you died, right? And you have to go back and you have to pick them up. And if you don't pick them up and you die again, they're gone. And so I was thinking, in addition to the death counter, I could add like a runes lost counter for how many times I've died and lost, like, because sometimes, and it's happened to me already in Dark Souls, where you have like 2 or 3 levels worth of souls saved up, and you're trying to run either to the forward to the next area to get like to a bonfire so you can rest and go level up and spend them, and you die to either like some trash mob or you fall off the edge, and then you die trying just to get there. It is the most frustrating and like annoying thing ever. But it's, again, you know that it's your fault, because you should have taken the patience to just fight it out, stay alive, and go get them, but you didn't. You rushed it and you died, and that's what you get. And that's Dark Souls.
How far do you usually have to run back?
I think it depends on the area and kind of where you've died. It really does greatly depend. But generally, when it's a lot of them, you feel like it's the farthest away possible. When you have the most, if it's not very much, it's always just right next to the bonfire. But when you have a lot, it's always as far away as possible. Like, that's just how it feels. It's probably not how it is, but it always feels like you've got the most. It's super far away. It's super far away.
Audibody, you ever play this? You ever play a game like this?
I have not played Dark Souls, no. I think the hardest game I've been playing recently is Warhammer Vermintide 2.
Yes.
I've been challenging myself on that game. I'm trying to push the difficulty. So I can't play the hardest difficulty on that game. I just recently got it because you have to like buy the DLC to even get the hardest difficulty. But the hardest free difficulty is kind of where I'm at in the game right now, and I die a lot in it, a lot, but it's super fun to like challenge yourself. And honestly, like, there's no way I can play it without like a good group of teammates either. And that's the nice thing, is like being able to play with other people who are, honestly, most of the time they're way better than me, because it's an older game, so most of the people who play the game have been playing it forever. So when you load into one of those difficult lobbies, you play with somebody who's really great, and you can learn so much just by like playing with them and watching how they play. And I don't know if you've ever played the game, but it's got a lot of different enemies. It's very similar to Left 4 Dead, with hordes, and just kind of the enemy base is very similar to Left 4 Dead, but set in the Warhammer universe. And yeah, it's been kicking my ass a lot. Like, I still have not. Last night on stream, I tried the hardest difficulty, and I literally lasted like a minute in the level.
Yeah,
died so fast. But yeah, it's just fun to challenge yourself.
That's a great game. I was just gonna say, I downloaded it. It's ready to go.
Yes, let's go. We gotta get some games in, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never played it. I've never played it. The problem for me with games, and I played SWTOR for 7 years, and I played other games, but never anything else. And now that I found Destiny, I feel like I'm going back into that rabbit hole of like, I just want to play that game all the time, nonstop.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to try to do the legendary campaign all by myself, and I might do it, I might not. And like, I'm so looking forward to those things. So I understand being able to find those games that you love, but I feel like I've missed out on so many games, because every time I play a game, I feel like I'm cheating on the game that we play.
Right. That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah, that's rough. I mean, especially when you stream a game full time, and you kind of, get this viewer base that's almost, you feel like expecting it, but it's a difficult place to put yourself in. And that's why I'm glad that I do music, because that never really changes. The audience doesn't really change. Music is like a universal language. And so I do not envy people who play video games on Twitch, because so many people have to try to keep up with the trends of like, which game is going to help me, or like, which game are my viewers going to stick around for, or are my viewers around for me? Do they even care what game I'm playing? There's so much going on, and I feel lucky because music is like, it's always the same. I kind of do the same thing every day, but it's different, because we have, hundreds of different songs to sing. So
No, in it doesn't matter what game you play, we all like music.
Yep.
You know?
Absolutely.
And I do understand what you're saying, because when I like started playing Destiny, you know, the viewership went down like crazy, and rightfully so. If you play Star Wars: The Old Republic, that's what you want to watch. You don't want to watch anything else. And yeah, you might like Marcus as a person, but at the end of the day, if you're not playing the game you want to watch, then why are you going to watch the streamer, right? But what I've noticed is so many people are coming into the stream going, I haven't played this since D1, or I haven't played this since the beginning of D2, or holy shit, I always wanted to play this, but I don't know anybody. And I tell everybody, download the game. It's unbelievable. And you know, it hits the spots. And so, you know, there's somebody new to play with, and it's free to try it. Like, I'm not telling you to go pay for it. Just come try it. There's a couple of missions we can do for free. If you like it, buy the expansion. If you don't, don't. All it is hard drive space. And even if your hard drive is at like max capacity, try it. And if you like it, well, then you're going to be happy you use that hard drive space, you know? But when it comes to the music stuff, anybody can love the Eagles. Whether you're playing a first-person shooter, an MMO, My Little Pony Online, you know what I mean? We have a listener. His name's Gronkin87. He's good friends with Nick. That's his main game, is My Little Pony Online.
Nice.
That's awesome.
But anyway, it's all of these things that always can come back to music, you know?
Right.
You been doing anything else, Atrax?
Right. Oh yeah, there is so much. I could talk forever, but I won't. Don't worry.
Why?
In MMO news too, End of Dragons dropping this weekend. Super excited for that. Very excited. Guild Wars 2, yes.
So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, dude?
Oh man. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday is Elden Ring, because it doesn't drop until Monday. Monday, Wednesday, Guild Wars 2, End of Dragons. I've been loving Guild Wars 2. It is great, especially with this upcoming expansion. They're adding I think it's two, but at least for sure one new type of mount. So in Guild Wars, there's I think it's seven different types of mount. Okay. So each one does something different. Like in most MMOs, SWTOR, WoW, they have like ground mounts and flying mounts. In this one, they have those two subcategories, but they have like the Springer, which can jump really high, the Raptor, which can leap far distances, the Jackal.
Is the Raptor named Blue?
I think it's just called the Raptor.
I was really hoping you're going to say the Raptor raps, but
the Raptor. Well, wait. Out of body. Atrax raps.
Oh,
so,
no, I don't.
Oh, yeah. So maybe we'll get Atrax to rap about Out of Body today. Maybe we'll get that.
Oh my goodness.
Let's go. I'm down to hear that.
No, I don't rap.
Yes, you do. Don't bullshit us. You can't bullshit us. This is such bullshit, everybody. You guys are
Atrax got bars, huh?
Yeah, sure.
You know, we need to actually hang out though. Atrax and I live not that far from each other. We found out.
We
live like 10 minutes down the road from each other.
Yep. This sounds kind of funny, but I know like where he works.
Yeah.
I've been going to where he works for like years.
Yeah, it's a small world, man. It was really funny though. We were just talking about it one night. I was like, oh, holy shit. We actually live like right next to each other.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yep.
You need like, and I'm going to just say this. So I watched a video. Okay. And there was two podcasters. They were podcasting back and forth. And the guy's like, oh, how far do you live from your parents? And the guy's like, oh, probably like 2.5 hours. And he's like, oh, how old are they? And he's like, oh, my dad's like 82. My mom is 76 or something. Right. And he's like, oh, how many times a year do you see your parents? He's like, oh, twice. He goes, so if they live for 10 more years, you're only going to see your parents 20 times. That's it.
Yikes. I don't like that.
Right. And that shit is heavy, right?
Yeah.
But my point here is you guys live right down the road from each other. Make it happen.
You're right.
Oh, I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like go to like,
you're right.
I don't know what
I'm going to message you right after this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
like what I'm saying
we'll talk about it while we play Vermintide.
Yes, but like that's what I'm saying. Like, go get a drink, or you know what I mean, or I don't know what kind of weak ass food you guys have on the West Coast, but I know if you're on the East Coast, we'd have some great ass food we could go get.
Sure.
What I'm saying is less talk, more action. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, 100%.
That's what I'm saying. We definitely need to hang out.
That less talk, more action kind of brings me into my next subject, which is I just want to take a couple minutes to address for me the my thoughts on the SWTOR expansion, how it's gone so far.
Oh my God.
I personally
Can I put a disclaimer out?
Yeah,
everybody. Disclaimer. It's official. Atrax is stirring the pot to get me fired up.
Stirring the pot to get you fired up. And I think I can't wait to see what Mark. So I looked this up. This is my personal disclaimer. The last time I was on this show was in October. The last time I played SWTOR was in October. So the last time I actually played the game was a while ago, but I've been around the community. I've watched a ton of streamers, obviously Marcus, Chimeri, Kogus, been around. I know what's in the update and everything like this.
Mm-hmm.
I think that with the gaming climate right now, we talked about Elden Ring, we talked about End of Dragons. You've already mentioned Destiny 2, and you'll get into that more too. It is way too underwhelming. I looked in the patch notes and their announcement. There is no mention whatsoever of the promised operation. They mentioned the Flashpoint, it's out, but there is nothing mentioned about the operation whatsoever, which is to me very shocking, because isn't that like a huge part of your community? Is the raiding community, right? That's huge for an MMO. That's super important. The PvP people seem to be enjoying it. The players, from what I've heard, some don't, kind of mixed. A couple of people I know really enjoy it. But for me, when I've asked people if this wasn't a Star Wars game, if it was the exact same game, but just not Star Wars branded, would you play it? A majority of people said no, which to me shows that as an MMO, it needs a lot of work. I don't think that it's dead. I think that it's very promising. And I'm going to go into my next kind of thing is BioWare on their website has about 30 jobs available. And there's a lot of them are just creative type jobs that I think are actually sound pretty cool. One's a character artist, and it says they're looking for a character artist. For Star Wars: The Old Republic, create compelling art in the mood and style of Star Wars, create characters, outfits, mounts, boss characters, other content. No degree required, just experience with,
Why aren't you applying, bro?
Art related. Well, I'm not an artist.
No, not right now, but there's got to be a job for you there.
There's no video editing jobs, sadly. Right. But people in the community, this community is so passionate, and I heard it in the Kitty Kisses episode last time too. The community is so passionate. BioWare's looking for people, and there is, from my perspective, a significant lack of content, but this community is great. Another one is a senior encounter designer, which would
create the boss. Yes, I saw that.
Design encounters in SWTOR.
Here's the things I'm going to say is I'm going to play both sides of the coin. They did say that they are going to trickle out the content over the course of the year, but nobody wants that. Oh my God, that was the most amazing thing in the planet. I sneezed and farted at the same time. That was fantastic.
Snart, bro, the snart.
Yeah, the snart. Yeah, that's amazing. I've never heard it called that before, but I'm going to use that for the rest of it. Must be a West Coast thing. Anyway, I've said it a million times. If you're going to release an expansion, it needs to have more than 2 hours of story. People play Star Wars games for the story.
Right.
first and foremost, everybody wants to be their own story in Star Wars. Now, like, yes, all the PvPers love this expansion because PvP feels reinvented because it's all new and like they're having fun with it. And so PvP is
new meta.
PvP is thriving. Where you said that, where's the operation? They did say that they're after. So I think, in my opinion, I think they didn't think that the expansion was going to launch this bad. And what I mean by that is the bugs and everything else. So I feel like there's going to be, the operation will be on the PTS soon. I don't know when, but I would imagine it's going to be there soon. And then they're going to test it out, and then they're going to release it. But they said that wouldn't be coming until 7.1 because they wanted people to gear, which that's almost like the Destiny mindset. Release the expansion, get everybody their gear they need. We drop the raid 2 weeks later. Here we go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's common in MMOs in general. I think WoW does the same thing.
I don't know. I've played it, but I've never actually like sunk my teeth into WoW.
Right.
Well, you know why? And it's going to be funny because it's going to circle back to Dark Souls. Because in WoW, when you die, it brings you back to a graveyard and you have to run back to your body to get your shit. And I said, that's the dumbest fucking mechanic ever. Just like in Breath of the Wild, where like your sword breaks. So like you have to have like 30 swords just in case your sword breaks in order to beat a boss. And I'm just like, that's the dumbest mechanic ever.
I get it. I get the mechanic, but I don't like it either. I'm with you. I'm not a fan of the durability mechanic.
Well, anything that makes me have to die and then run back to where my body is, or a durability mechanic, is not interesting to me. Like repairing your gear. If you die a bunch and your gear needs to be repaired because you've damaged it so much and it doesn't do shit. Okay, I can understand that mechanic because it's not actually stopping you from playing the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the thing is, so I believe the operation is coming. I do believe that they're going to release more content. My big concern, if you're a full-time SWTOR player right now, where you need to be worried is about where is this going in a year? So after a year, everybody's going to come back and go, oh, look how great this past year was. We got a ton of content. But what's next? Like,
are you going to wait another 2 years for an expansion?
But that's what I'm saying. Like in another 2-hour expansion, I got burnt out from raiding, like completely burnt out. And my point here is I was looking forward to this new story and it didn't make sense.
Right.
I didn't even make it to the flashpoint because they put so many enemies in the first area of the story to stretch the amount of content there was. They just made you fight trash mob after trash mob after trash mob just to stretch the content because they didn't have enough content to do it. And I'm just like, again, I am not a game developer. So if you're a game dev and you hear me say this and you hate me for it, what have you been doing for 3 years?
Yep.
I build custom kitchens for a living and cabinets and all this stuff. And you set a deadline. If I know that, hey, on December 25th, 2027, this kitchen needs to be done. No matter what you do, that thing needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say the biggest thing that hurts that game right now is we're 10 days after launch, and there has not been one dev blog post or a live stream or a letter from the producer that says, hey, we understand, you know, the launch has been wonderful. They'll make it all bubbly, but like, hey, this is what you have to look forward to coming next week, X 2 months from now or a month from now, game update 7.1, next piece of story, this piece, that piece, and like, but we don't know anything.
There's nothing.
That's what I'm
radio silence.
So that's what I'm saying. And I'm going to just compare it to other games. Final Fantasy 14 released their expansion with 80 hours of story, 8 dungeons, 4 raids, which are individual bosses with all 3 levels. And they were 2 weeks behind. And the game producer cried that they were 2 weeks late because it was the first time ever they were late on an expansion. Bungie just released theirs, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. that expansion is wild.
Right.
And that's the difference between game studios and like, is this an EA cloud thing? Like, is EA just the worst company ever? Maybe. Is this BioWare's just doesn't have the dev team or the budget to actually do the work that they need to do in 2022 when things cost more? You know, salaries go up and people get pay raises and all this stuff. You know, shit costs money. Or is it the big corporation saying, release it with whatever you got? We don't care. Do it. Or is this Lucasfilm and Disney constantly putting the brakes on them? Oh, you can't do that. Oh, you can't do that. They work on something. Oh, you can't do that. You know, I don't know where the balance is. And obviously the devs are never, ever going to tell us that.
Right.
But a little bit of transparency would be fucking amazing.
And I was trying to kind of approach this from just a general Star Wars content creator, not specifically SWTOR, but Star Wars in general. The next game that we get is Lego Star Wars in April. So that's a month away. I don't know. Is it just a remaster with all of the stories in it, or is there
no? It's a brand new game.
It's a brand new game. All right, so that's great,
dude. There's going to be like 100. Wait. That Lego Star Wars game is going to be like 100 hours of content.
They're putting the sequel trilogy in it too, right?
Everything. Yeah, every Star Wars movie, every planet, every Star Wars in like they're going to have the main planets you go to, but then there's going to be like you want to go to what's that planet with a casino on it from the sequel trilogy? Oh my god.
Oh, I don't know.
Fuck.
Yeah.
The sequels are the movies I know the least.
Yes, me too. But like, I'm just trying to think of Canto Bight. Like, you're going to be able to go to the casino in Canto Bight. You want to go to Dathomir? You're going to be able to go to Dathomir. Like, every fucking planet. Like, when they showed the planets that you can choose to go to, I was blown away. Like, holy shit. This game is monstrous.
I'm super stoked. Mm-hmm. Definitely going to play that.
I can't wait for that.
And think about how many people are going to stop playing other games to play that game.
Right.
Whether it's SWTOR, End of Dragons, playing music, whatever. People are going to be stopping to play that game.
So, right. And so I was just kind of thinking of like that in terms of SWTOR, right? That's what they have to compete with in their own arena, right? And there's multiple unannounced games that we're supposed to hear more about as the year goes on. So for this 10-year, where, you know, in my mind, there should be more. I'm hoping for more. And if they're hiring people, like, hopefully this is a good sign, even though we have heard absolutely nothing.
Well, yes. So I have two mindsets on this. So is BioWare making a new Star Wars game? ? Or is it really for Star Wars The Old Republic, right? They could be posting that it's for SWTOR, but they're really getting hired for a new game that has been unannounced. SWTOR 2. I'm not saying it's actually SWTOR 2, but like, is it something like that? I have no idea. At the end of the day, you have to take care of the player base that you have right now. In reality, in 2 years, so what's it, 2022? So by 2024, there's going to be a shit ton of Star Wars games coming out all the time. And that's going to be the thing is Ubisoft is making a Star Wars open world game. Nobody knows if it's an MMO. It's being made by the people who made The Division. It's going to be a looter shooter just like The Division. That's my guess. You're going to be bounty hunters and you're going to be doing fucking bounty hunting.
And I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Right.
Same.
And so if that player base is like, whoa, brand new games, updated graphics, like I'm a graphical whore. You guys see what I look like when I'm playing Destiny and I stop playing the game to look around and I'm getting shot and I don't care because I'm like, oh my God, this is beautiful. Like,
right.
Where the fuck did this come from? And this game is 7 years old where SWTOR is 10 years. You know what I mean? Obviously technology changes and stuff, but like, I just think that having the SWTOR name or Star Wars name right now is tough because not only do you have EA, then you have Lucasfilm. And then on top of that, yes, Lucasfilm is owned by Disney, but I'm sure that Disney has their opinions too. So it's like jumping through hoops. If you go back a ways to the episode where Jackie Cow was on the show. He actually guested on our podcast 2 or 3 days after he left BioWare. So Nick and him are UConn alums. They went to the same college, and they were like two little kids at the cantina talking about UConn. And we tried forever to get him on the show just to talk. And he's like, look, because you guys are in the content creator program, I can't just come on your show because of my job. And we're like, dude, we don't even need to talk SWTOR. We won't even mention that you're a dev. We just want to talk to you. And he said that I can't because it's a conflict of interest, right? So
right.
What did I do? As soon as I found out he was leaving, I was like, bro, when do you want to come on the show? 2 days after you left, let's go. And he actually said this, that the hoops that they have to go through, it's like you got to go to your BioWare head, and then your BioWare head has to go to the EA head, and then your EA head has to go to the mouse. And by the time you get back, it could be 2 months before you hear any response.
Yikes.
So it's like your arm is being pulled from 2 different directions, and it's like, which one am I going to get? Like, when am I going to get the answer? So for that, right. I understand. But at that point, just end it. Walk away. Like, if it's that tough, like, to get answers, I would rather not have a game than have shitty content.
Especially in the game's current climate in comparison to just the gaming climate in general. You have to look at it as a whole. Because how much money does that cost? That process that you just described, how much money does that cost? An insane amount of money, right? Just scrap it, start new with something, or divert those resources into the games that you've announced already. I don't know what the studios, and I know different studios are doing them. I don't know all of that. I'm not a game developer, right? I'm just a gamer. I'm just some guy who plays a lot of video games. But that would be, hey, everybody, thank you so much. We've had a great run. This is what the process, this is how we're going to have the game. We're going to support it for a year and a half, whatever. Set an end date and then just go for it. Make some fancy feel good thing for the last year or so, and then, divert your resources elsewhere. But I which is sad because I love the game. I've, as a content creator, I came through the game. I've met all sorts of people through SWTOR, but it's unfortunate. That's kind of been my thought, is kind of unfortunate.
Sure.
So that's what I've been up to. Marcus, how's it going for you?
Okay. So what's today? So Tuesday, the Destiny 2 Witch Queen expansion came out, and I have not been involved in an expansion through Destiny at all. And I decided that I was going to stream it. I didn't think I was going to stream it that early. But I did. I started streaming at about 11:45 a.m. Eastern time. You West Coasters are still sleeping at that point. And I was so excited to just be at that loading screen, right? And then about an hour or two before the expansion release, they announced that the PlayStation download wouldn't be available until the game was released. The expansion was released. So the queue was definitely going to be a lot smaller if PlayStation players couldn't get in. Right. They were downloading it while we were playing it, which is amazing. I mean, it sucks for them. Don't get it wrong, but they should have bought an Xbox. But what I mean is, so I got in, and the amount of hype for me, I was so excited. I wish there was a counter that you could have seen how many times I said, I'm so excited right now. I had a smile on my face ear to ear. I've never been involved in this. I was so excited. And it was so much fun to be able to go through the campaign with my fire team and just do it together and enjoy the content. We stopped, I probably throughout the whole, I streamed almost 11 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. I started
How
at
did
11.
you feel after that?
Yeah, that's a long day, bro.
But I couldn't stop playing. It was so good. But like my kids were here. Like I would stop and take a break and like go give them a kiss and like go throw them around a little bit and like play a little something, take a leak, come back, take a shit, go get a coffee. Like I was not on anybody's schedule to like, oh, I have to be in front of the camera at all times. Like if they needed me, I got up and left. I was like, guys, I'll be right back. It's the middle of the day and my kids are home. I'm enjoying them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I streamed for 11 hours. I was so excited. Yes, by the time 11 hours comes, I don't care how excited you are for something, you're fucking beat.
Yep.
And
the adrenaline ends and you're out.
Well, right. And I enjoyed it so much. The campaign was beautiful, unbelievable. The story, I am hooked. Like there's a gear grind. Now there's new exotic guns you can do. And I would say the regular campaign is probably, let's say 8 hours long, right? For the sake of our conversation, let's say it's 8 hours long. Then there's two or three exotic quest lines to get special exotic guns. That's who knows how many hours of content. Then there's all the revamps of all the other shit, plus the gear grind, which Atrax loves the gear grind. And there's hours of content. Like I haven't even scratched the surface. Like by the end, I was so tired. We only had one mission left and we didn't know that. So we called it a night and we finished it on Wednesday. Legit, I signed in on Wednesday. We finished the mission. I was still tired from streaming 11 hours and working and all that I was just like, I didn't stream it. I was just like, all right, guys, I'm going to go to bed. And they're like, what? You're not going to grind? And I'm like, guys, it's 10:30. I'm really looking forward to bed right now. I'm pooped. I'm not even myself. I don't even want to talk to you guys, but I wanted to finish the campaign to like do it. And now I can go back and do the other things to make it, make it better. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Right.
And now I can, push and, it's going to take me some time to get to the, I don't know, whatever, hard cap or whatever the hell it is to be able to do the harder content, but that's okay too. You know what I mean? I got to the soft cap day one, which was a goal, but I logged into SWTOR and I was like, I'm going to play the shit out of this expansion. I think I played it for an hour and a half and I was like, I can't anymore.
Oof.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And now I'm just so happy. And am I going back to SWTOR? 100%. I love the game. But right now I'm so disappointed. I would much rather not log in and wait a little while and enjoy Destiny. And then in a couple weeks, go back to SWTOR to say, all right, now I'm ready to play this game and dive into it. You know what I mean?
Right. Because there's just so much.
Yes. Because right now it's not for me. But I will say this about Destiny. Next week, we're going to be doing the full breakdown of Witch Queen. My fire team's coming on. It's going to be all out. Like the whole episode is going to be Destiny Talk 101. Like, and the magical thing about what I'm finding right now is the nerds community is growing so much now with Destiny people as well as SWTOR people. People are coming into the stream that are SWTOR players and they're like, holy shit, I haven't played this since D1. And you're like, really? Well, come play with me. Why? You'll actually play with me? Well, yeah, if I'm not doing something with my fire team to progress something, I'll do the first mission of the Witch Queen with you or the second one, or I'll do it with you because what do I care? I want to play with as many people. And I will say that's the one downside to Destiny is it's a 3 to 6 person game.
Yeah, it's pretty limited.
Right. Like most things are 3-person instances. So like it's really hard because if your raid team is on and there's 5 or 6 of you, you have to split into 2 teams and it kind of feels it's not as fun as SWTOR because you can get into a group of 24 people and just go kill world bosses. And that's a nice hangout with your boys or your girls or whatever. You know what I mean? Your peeps.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm really hooked on it, man.
You're hooked.
and it feels
line
good.
And sinker.
Well, it just feels good. Like I'm looking for, like tonight I probably won't get to play it, but it's been really fun for me. You know what I mean? And being able to experience these things, and now the story, holy shit. And like the cutscenes inside the game, oh my God, dude, they're amazing. And the guns, and like now, like you're starting off and you're like realize like, okay, this gun isn't good anymore. So now I have to level up this other gun to try to shoot it. And now you get this thing called the glaive, and it will shoot, or you can melee, and it looks like a big bow staff with a blade on it. You know what I mean? Like it almost reminds me of like Dynasty Warriors.
Okay, gotcha.
And the melee move does not use your heavy ammo, so it's like you have unlimited melee. And I know you love
a legitimate melee,
right? And you don't. I know you don't. You hate swords and stuff. So,
yeah,
but
it's neat. All right, I will say that for those, I've kind of cut my point with like the game isn't for me, but I will say, right, I'll speak positively about Destiny. It's good to see that they are implementing new things, right? They've got this sword thing, they're running with it. Now they've got a new weapon. They're doing a good job of at least implementing and trying new things. It's good to hear that.
Right. Yes. And it's just good. It is just good.
It's a good expansion.
And it's good. It's a good game. And the community is monstrous. You know, I met somebody. Okay. So I was in a Gambit match, and I don't know if I've talked about this or not, but I'll repeat it. So we were in a Gambit match, which is a 4-person, half PvP, half PvE content. And we were fighting, and they're like, holy shit, Marcus, you just killed Marcus B Gaming. I was like, wait, what? And they're like, dude, there's a guy on this team is named Marcus B Gaming. F this guy. He's not the real Marcus. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. He could be a real Marcus, but like, this is monumental. But we cannot let him shit on us this game. So we all turned it on and we beat his team. And then like the next day we were playing, one of the fire team members was like, dude, Marcus B Gaming is a streamer on Twitch. I was like, wait, what? Oh my God. And I didn't go to the channel at that point. Oh no, maybe I did. And I was like, all right, I can vibe with this guy. And then the next time I streamed, everybody was like, dude, Marcus B Gaming is streaming. I was like, fuck, we got to raid his channel. And since then, like the dude is awesome. He's a Destiny streamer. He's he's bigger on YouTube than he is Twitch. He does YouTube videos. He does YouTube streaming. Like this dude is legit. Check out Marcus B Gaming, please. Like I am not like, don't watch me, go watch him. Anyway, my point is, and we've become friends, and like his community comes into my streams now. It is awesome.
It's a meme. It's great.
Yes. I love it. So in AIE news, Tuesdays. Oh, I should refresh. So from now on, every episode, we're going to change the game that we talk about with AIE. AIE is oh my God.
Right over
Alia
there.
Iacta Est gaming community. So we play all of the big MMOs and other games. If you could play a game, most likely we play it. So last week we talked about Guild Wars 2's mandatory fun night. So this week, obviously, we're going to talk about what happens on Tuesday, which Tuesdays is the SWTOR mandatory fun night, where the fun is mandatory, but attendance is not. It runs from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern. They switch from the Imp side, which is the best side, to the Republic side, which you don't want to play there, but they still do it and will allow it. Anyways, they do whatever it takes to help gear and just do fun things for Conquest and all that stuff. So make sure you check that out. If all this sounds fun to you, go to AIE-guild.org, get the Discord info, ask for a guild invite, whether or not you play Star Wars: The Old Republic or Destiny 2 or Guild Wars 2 or any of the other games that we play. We would love to have you.
Join the guild.
Join the guild now. Now, are you ready? Are you ready for these hard-hitting questions, dude?
So ready.
Oh, my God. All of them. Oh, my God. All right. I have to ask this first. You kind of touched on it. But why music? And wait, how did you get into music on streaming and not become just one of the normals? Because I know you liked Battlefront, but like, what made you turn to music to stream?
So mostly because like music has just always been my passion. I've been doing music since I was a really little kid. When I was in, I want to say second grade, so I was very young. My mom put me in piano lessons. Did that for a few years, and then once I got to middle school, I played in band. I played trombone. Did choir and band all the way through high school.
Did you play the skin flute?
Oh, okay.
Oh my god.
Sorry, I had to go there.
No,
Those are the hard.
I played the trombone, which is honestly almost just as bad. So I played all the way through high school and through college. I dropped out of college. I was a music education major in college. But then I realized halfway through, shit, I don't want to hang out with teenagers all the time and teach them music. Sounds terrible. And then so I dropped out of college. I also, the other thing was with college is I felt like I wasn't learning enough, and it was mostly, you know, I was learning other things, but as far as the music side went, which is what I was in college for, I wasn't learning much because I did go to a private high school. I was raised in Montana, out in the boonies, bumfuck nowhere. And I went to a very small school. There were 17 kids in my graduating class.
What?
17. Yeah.
Wow.
That's not a lie. 17 kids. It was a very small private school. So we got a lot of really good time and attention from our teachers. And one of the classes that I took in my senior year was music history and theory. And literally so we spent for the first the first semester learning music history and the second semester learning music theory. And in that class, there were 5 of us. So it was like very intensive, you know, like we learned so much in that semester. I felt like I learned a ton. I went to college. I tested out of the first year, but they said, we still want you to take the first year just in case we teach something differently. And I'm like, it's music. Everybody teaches it the freaking same. But they made me restart over. And I literally for a year and a half, for 3 semesters, I sat around with my fucking thumb in my ass being like, this is not anything new to me. I learned all of this in 1 semester in high school. And so I dropped out. Probably not the wisest move. I probably could have done something smarter.
Dude, like you have to be challenged in life. Like the fact that they made you do that, to me, that just sounds like it was a greedy money grab on their part.
Honestly, now looking back, 100% is what it was.
Yeah, like there should be, if you already tested out and you're like, look, I don't need these courses, and they're like, oh no, you definitely do, then they definitely were just taking your money and running.
Yep. And it was, you know, again, I honestly just didn't know better. There were so many things going into college that I wish I would have been better informed. Like signing my life away for college for student debt is like just terrible, and you have no idea what you're signing up for. I mean, I was literally 17 at the time. I turned 18 like a month before college started. Dude. Like I had no idea what I was signing up for, and they're like, well, you pretty much have to sign these if you want to go here. And my whole life everybody's been telling me college is important. You have to go to college. Like and for me, being one of the first people in my family to like, you know, actually graduate high school and not drop out. Like most of my siblings dropped out and got their GEDs and stuff. But like for me, I was always expected. Most of my life, I was the golden child, which looking at me now, you probably wouldn't believe it. Because I look kind of like a hoodlum. But
no, you don't. You look fucking awesome to me.
Portland's rock star. Let's go.
Yeah, you know, I just I look like a musician now. We'll just say that. You know, the long hair and the tattoos give it away. It's so funny because when I go to concerts, people are like, "So you playing later?" And I'm like, "No, no, just in the audience, bro."
That's hilarious.
I haven't, just for the record, I haven't been to a concert in so long.
Oh my god, me neither.
The last concert I saw was probably like 10 years ago, and it was Killswitch Engage, Hatebreed, and oh my god, I don't remember who the other band was, but yeah, not Medicated Savage, some other band. But anyway, sorry.
Last concert I went to was in September.
I haven't been to a concert since before the pandemic.
Can we just say fucking Thank God this shit is behind us.
Bro, fuck all of that. It's honestly, it did so many terrible things for, like, COVID kind of, did good things and bad things for me. It turned me towards streaming, which is a good thing. But at the same time, like, I was in a band before all this hit. So I guess that's where I was getting in my music story. So after college, dropped out of college. I played in a brass band in Seattle for a little bit, but that wasn't super long or important to the story.
Like the Mighty Mighty Bosstones kind of brass band?
Yeah. It was we were called D20 cool. Brass Band.
Well, is this on like YouTube?
D20,
can I like
Yeah, you absolutely can look it up on YouTube. D20 Brass Band. So we used to take old video game theme songs and funkify them. Like that was like we played the Katamari theme song.
Awesome.
We played
Mario.
Yeah,
there it is. Team Fortress 2 theme Reddit meetup. June 2014.
Yep. So that was, let's see, June. Awesome. That might have been after I left the band, because I moved. So basically, what happened is I was playing in that band. I had a really good time. We went on a tour in Texas for a week, and that really opened my eyes. I was like, if a brass band, a nerdy, not cool thing can like paid for all of our trips. I was like, if it can pay for our trips and like give us this cool music experience, surely I can do that with a rock band. You know what I mean? Surely I can do this with a different type of music that is more popular. You know what I mean? So that was really the big eye-opening thing for me. And I was living in Seattle at the time and not doing anything. And my little brother had just moved to Portland, and he called me and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing with your life?" And I said, "Not shit." And he said, "Well, why don't you move down to Portland and start a band with me?" And I was like, "You know what? That's a great idea." So September, I guess it would have been September of 2014, is when I moved, I think, down to Portland, and we started the band. The band was called The Out of Body Experience. We did really well for ourselves for a long time. We were a band for about 6 years. We did some really awesome things, like headline the Hawthorne Theater, which is like one of Portland's premier music venues. It's a
great theater.
And there's just like so many really cool things that we did. We opened for bands like I See Stars and Sullivan King, and we did some really, really awesome things. And then literally as soon as COVID hit, everything kind of fell apart. Obviously shows were at a standstill, and we decided not to practice. We decided to keep our distance from each other, at the time, because we were taking things very seriously and trying to do our part. Yeah, exactly. And so after a while we did end up doing practices together, but when we got together and we're playing, we're like, what are we practicing for? Like, we used to have an agenda. Like, we would be practicing our set list for the show that we had on Friday. You know what I mean? And it just came to the point where we're just like, well, I guess we're just here jamming. Like, what are we doing? And there was no end in sight for the pandemic. And we just really had no idea, like, what was going to be the next step for music even. And how long everything was going to be shut down and when we would even be able to get back. And so things kind of crumbled a little bit as far as the band goes. And then my brother decided to make the move to Vegas. So he's been talking about moving down to Las Vegas for a while.
That's a big Willie move right there.
It is.
Yeah, that's huge.
If I moved to Vegas, I'd be dead.
Wow.
There's no way I could handle Vegas.
Oh man, every time I go to visit, I just party way too fucking hard. So it's a good time.
That's what I'm saying.
But the nice thing is now I don't have to pay for a hotel. Anytime I go to Vegas, no hotel. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, and that's an insane amount of money in Vegas.
Yes,
too.
he literally lives like less than 15-minute drive from the Strip. So it's
that's perfect.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool place. But yeah, he's been talking about moving down to Vegas for a while. And initially the plan was for me to go down there too, but once I met Lily, like, it kind of didn't make sense for us to go down there. The biggest reason why my brother wanted to move down to Vegas is because he wanted to start having kids with his wife. They've been together for 3 years now. They're both in their later 20s now, reaching closer to 30. And so they're, ready to have kids. And so they wanted to move down to where her family is. So my sister-in-law's whole family lives in Vegas. So they wanted to have some family around while they were raising kids.
Wait. Can we just stop for a second?
Yes.
Can you imagine how gangster these kids are going to come out living in Vegas?
No kidding.
Yeah, no,
it's a long way from Montana.
It is. It really is. It's I feel like I've seen so many different places throughout my life, and Montana is just a unique ass place. It really is. And I don't ever want to live there again full time. I think there's a lot of things wrong with
the people there and the mindset there, it's very, I don't know, backwoodsy and backwards thinking. I mean, there's still a lot of racism and homophobia that happens in Montana. Like, I grew up hearing so many things that, like, I don't think anybody should be saying. And like, it's just some type of backwards thought when you kind of get into less populated areas. I think it just kind of like I think more of it is just not being exposed and understanding, because I think once I moved to a city and you're around so many more people and you realize there's so many different things going on in the world, it's more eye-opening to where you're in this small suburb. This is all this small little corner of the world. This is all your little bubble is telling you. Sometimes that's all you hear. And I don't know. I just think moving out away from that tiny town mentality did wonders for me as a person. I think I grew a lot. I think I matured a lot.
Especially as a musician, I imagine.
100%. There's not a whole lot of opportunities for musicians in Montana. Like, there really are not.
Right.
So,
I've been on the range 45 days.
Yeah, right. So, that was a big part of it, was moving to a city where music was prevalent.
Well, right, of course. If you want to be a rock star, you're going to move to the place where there's people.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? For me, like, living in Montana would be perfect because I'm just going to have my shop and I'm going to build my cabinets, right?
You'd be great out there. Yeah.
But here's the other thing is, I'm just going to touch on the Montana life. Like, there's a podcast called Up and Vanished. It's like a true crime podcast, but they talk about, somebody went missing and they can't find them and blah, blah, blah. So they spent a season trying to find this person. And this one takes place on an Indian reservation in Montana. And did you guys know that Indigenous women are the most battered and murdered in our country? It's some like crazy statistic, like 1 in like 3 women have either been a part of like abuse or raped on their reservations. Like, the numbers are staggering. It's like wild to hear this shit, right?
And the number of missing Indigenous women too is actually really crazy.
Yes.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, but it's it's like the country mentality of like, there's not enough police to govern, right? So like, there's nobody to really govern these people. It's just a wild, wild west. It's not anything that, like, I live in Massachusetts and like, I live in a little suburb of a little tiny city. But like, if you look where I live, you'd be like, fuck, you live in a mega metropolis. Like, I can be in New York City or in 2.5 hours. I can be in DC in 5 hours or 6 hours. You know what I mean? Like, from DC up, it's all city after city after city.
Yeah.
But in Montana, like, where's the closest city to wherever these people are? It could be 3-4 hours away.
Right.
And that's what,
Miles.
it's
where I grew up, the next closest one was 2 hours. And then the other closest ones were all 4 hours plus away.
But that's what I'm saying.
And they were still tiny ass towns. They were not big towns. They were still, those were the big towns in Montana.
But that's what I mean. And like, and that's where, and now I've never lived there and I would love to go there. But at the same time, it's like, I could rent a ranch for a month, Airbnb in Montana, but like, I don't know anything about that place. Like, you could go there and then like people start fucking with you and there's nothing you can do. You're just some city guy that's coming to the boonies. You know what I mean? And yeah, I'm just trying to go fishing, but people don't like, and you talk about like racism, but not, I wouldn't say this is racism, but like, nobody's going to want to help you because you're an out-of-towner.
Yeah.
They're going to know that just by looking at you that you are not from around there.
Bro, and this is another thing that's actually a very real thing, because growing up, I would always hear people talking about those damn Californians always moving to Montana, like ruining our small town life. And it's so funny. But yeah, that's really the mentality that it is. They really see outsiders as like coming in and ruining their peace. And the thing is, it's like, maybe somebody else just wants to find a little peace, bruh. Chill.
Yeah.
But that's the thing I heard I've heard growing up a lot is like, all those damn Californians taking over and all.
But here's the city guy in me. Montana scares the shit out of me, right? Okay. Like I rent an Airbnb on a ranch for a month and I wake up in the morning and walk outside and there's a fucking giant bear or tiger or I don't even know what the fuck lives
Definitely
out there.
Not
Goddamn
tigers.
Let's be honest, the fucking fish in Montana probably jump out of the water and bite you. You know what I mean?
They do have some big old fish out there for sure.
Well, that's what I mean. And like it's definitely it's definitely different than what I know. You know what I mean? My boonies out here is nothing compared to that. But I will say, I would love to spend a night in Montana in the middle of a fucking field. Obviously, somebody that's with me is going to probably need a gun just in case we get attacked by something. But just to look at the stars, because I've never probably seen the sky look like that in my life.
It's incredible. The amount of stars that you can see out there because of the lack of light pollution is insane. Like there's a spot that I try to go every time I visit home. It's like just this giant cliff that you have to kind of hike up, and it overlooks the lake. I grew up near a giant lake, like one of the biggest lakes in the western half of the states. Actually, it's called Flathead Lake. It's a big old lake. But anyways, there's like this mountain that overlooks that and like the cities. But when you looked up, you literally, I mean, it's called Big Sky Country because you can see so much of the sky. Like you literally see almost, more than 180 degrees worth of sky. It's really insane. And the stars, there's nothing like the stars out there, I'll tell you that.
And I'm sure the air's a lot clearer too because there's more trees and less people to pollute it. I'm sure that it's just so clear.
I don't know. I have found that, so growing up, I feel like I really enjoy the air there, but now that I moved to somewhere where it's a little more moist, like my allergies are definitely not as bad here in Oregon as they were in Montana. Like hay season in Montana, I was just constantly nose dripping, face was red all the time, and I couldn't figure out why. I moved somewhere here, and I'm like, oh, this isn't so bad. Now the only thing I'm allergic to here is my cat.
Right. Yeah, well, and I lived near Mount Hood for a while, and that was really nice, kind of not necessarily super in the woods, but very forested. And we lived in an orchard. And so for us, the worst thing was just that, they sprayed the orchard all the time. But there's some, even out here, there's some nice kind of rural areas. I'm sure all over the country and all over the world, there's nice, more, or I guess less populated areas to go, where you can see the sky, stuff like that.
But not like a Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, something like that.
True.
Dude, there's nothing like when you go there, that you're going there to have quiet. Like there's a good chance there's no cell phone. Yeah, there's no cell phone service. You got 5G sitting in your phone right now. You're going to be lucky to have 1X.
Oh, that spot I was talking about where I go with the view? No, there's no cell phone service up there. Definitely not.
Right.
But that's what I'm saying. It's just a complete different way of life.
Mm-hmm.
So you play music, right?
Mm-hmm.
On stream. It's fucking awesome.
Thank you.
I enjoy it a lot. What is your favorite song to sing?
Oh, that's tough. I think, I say this about a lot of music in general, even when people are asking me like, who's your favorite artist? Like that is a tough question for me because a lot of music for me depends on my mood. It's kind of how I'm feeling. When I am like feeling kind of down and kind of depressed, I listen to Blink-182 a lot. When I'm feeling, maybe like a little more introspective and I need like quieter, calmer music, I'll listen to Mumford & Sons. When I need to get hyped or something, I'll listen to something a little heavier. You know what I mean? So I think music for me really depends on my mood, but a couple of my favorites in the songs are That Funny Feeling by Bo Burnham. I don't know if you've watched, he had a Netflix special called Inside, and it's just one of the songs off of there, and it's just like a really beautifully haunting song, but also like comedically genius. He's so good at doing stuff like that. I don't know if you know who Bo Burnham is, but
I was gonna say I'll need to go check that one out because I saw
it's incredible.
I think it was called What. Yes. I saw the first couple of them, What, and then he released an album, and this was like years ago already. I was still in high school, but a while ago he released an album. It was just like an audio album that was also really good. So I'll have to check out his new ones. I've just kind of, dude, I haven't listened to comedy in general. But
Inside is so good because he actually And the thing is, I related to way too much of Inside because it was filmed during the pandemic, and all of it is just him with cameras inside of his house. And he really talks about how as soon as he felt, because he took a break from comedy and live performances for a couple years, and then literally as soon as he felt like, because he goes through he has a lot of he goes through depression and has a lot of mental disorders and anxiety and things. And so he took a few years off, and as soon as he was ready to come back, COVID hit. And so he was basically not allowed to come back and do the thing that he loves. And so he made this special called Inside, and it's really about coping with, obviously being stuck inside like all of us were. And then also like how to like express yourself with something that has become your identity. Like for me, music was my identity. Like whenever I introduce myself, I'm Jordan. Like, what do you do? I'm a musician. I'm in a band. This is my life. The band is my life. And as soon as I was taken away, it just raised a lot of questions for me. Like, who am I anything beyond my band and my music? Like, who am I as a person? Like, what if music doesn't come back, what am I going to do? So I had to kind of, figure something out, and music was the streaming on Twitch has kind of been my placeholder at the moment.
Well, do you think once the band starts back up and you guys start playing shows again, do you think you'll continue to stream?
Well, the thing is, with my brother living down in Vegas, I'm not sure how often the band's going to be playing together. You know what I mean? So if we do shows, it'll be like, maybe a couple a year, and it'll be like I have to fly down to Vegas for it. So I don't think it's going to affect my day-to-day life that much. But the thing is, like, I guess you never know. But I don't know. I just kind of need to figure out what the next step is for me. Like, I've thought about because basically in my mind, the band isn't over because it's me and my brother. We're best friends. We always have been. And we're always going to make music together. And so the band's always going to be a thing. But as far as like the practicality of how often we can play together, obviously it's not going to be every weekend like it used to be, So I'm trying to figure out if I want to start another music project and try to go back into live performance, or, if I want to basically just, pick something different. But streaming is always going to be a part of it regardless, because like I said, this is stuff that I do in my house. Like I sit here and play my guitar regardless of, if I have the camera on or not. So I might as well turn it on. And so, those things will never change. I still plan on streaming. Like no matter what happens with my life, I will definitely stream at least a few days a week. You know what I mean? It's for sure. It's been a lot more frequently lately because I have the time to. But, a year down the road, it might not be the same case. But I'm still always going to do it. I really enjoy it. And, I enjoy playing video games too. So whenever I'm gaming, I might just turn it on. But yeah, right now I'm doing like 4 days a week. And I that's pretty much fills, I think, the necessary music performance for me. And honestly, it's more performing than I ever did with the band, because, now I'm performing 2+ hours for 4 days a week, whereas before we were playing for an hour every Friday and then maybe one on Saturday too. You know what I mean? Kind of doing the weekend warrior thing. So,
well, I feel like with streaming, you have to fit something in your schedule that works.
Yes.
Because if you try to force streaming into something, like you're going to get burnt out. You know what I mean? And for me, that was Wednesday nights. I'll give an example. So Wednesday nights, I used to stream Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, but Wednesday night, like Tuesday streams would be amazing. Wednesdays would be good, but I was tired. And then by the time Thursdays came for the podcast, dude, I was like a zombie. And I'm like, I'd be fucking like, just like this. Or when Nick would be editing the podcast, I'd be falling asleep on the couch. And I'm like, this is not what this is about, because at the end of the day, we all have our careers or our jobs, whatever. And like, this is a hobby. Mm-hmm. Like hobbies are supposed to be fun. And if you're falling asleep, then fuck, you need to change something else. So since I changed my stream schedule, it's helped so much for the podcast and my energy level. So I get it. And fitting that your schedule is great. but it has to be exhausting too, because you're performing for hours. Like your whole stream is you singing with a guitar, and that's performing in your voice and all that stuff. It's got to wear on you sometimes.
A little bit sometimes. And, I take plenty of days off. I'll tell you that. I cancel stream plenty of times. But I really think that because of this, my voice is honestly the strongest it's ever been. You know what I mean? Because there has never been any point in my life where I've been this disciplined about making sure I sing for this amount of hours every day. You know what I mean? This is the first time in my life I've been very, very determined. Besides since like college, high school, when I had to classes, but it's been really good. I really think my voice is at one of the strongest points it's been. And so, like I said, there were a ton of negatives that came out of COVID, but one of the positives is that I forced myself into, I didn't force myself. It kind of landed on me how I came upon it, but came to streaming. And now I feel like, I honestly feel I'm at the best musicianship I've ever been right now, because the other thing is I have not played the guitar like this in years. Like in the band, I mostly played the piano. I mostly played keys.
Sure.
And so I have not played the guitar like this in years. And so for the last 7 months or whatever it's been, I've been playing the guitar damn near every day. And so I feel like I've improved so much on the guitar in the last 7 months even. You know what I mean? So I've learned so many different new things and techniques. And I think sorry, go ahead.
No, you first.
I was just gonna say the focus of it mostly for me is the vocals. Guitar is kind of my secondary because it's not even my main instrument. You know what I mean? But like I think the reason I do guitar is because I think it's what fits best with a voice when it's just a one-on-one instrument. You know what I mean?
Wait, what is your main instrument?
Piano.
So why don't you play the piano on stream?
Couple reasons. One is I feel like the guitar accompanies the voice a little better as far as filling out the sound in the background. The other thing is it's easier to play guitar and sing at the same time than it is to play piano. It's just easier.
Do you know who Piano Rogues Melody is a pianist, and she has a channel on Twitch, and like when she's playing the piano, she's not talking. And then she talks afterwards, you know what I mean? And it's a fucking awesome stream.
No, so I've been doing these, like I said, super late night streams. I did have a night where I literally just plugged in the piano. Like I didn't sing. I just played the piano for like 2.5, 3 hours or something, and just kind of got lost in it. And I'm sure there were people in chat that I missed, but I was just like enjoying just playing the piano again, So I think that's going to be a thing that's going to happen more. Like, just kind of depends on my mood when I get home from work. Like, I'm like, do I want a game or do I want to play some music for a bit?
But like, make it a channel redemption, or maybe like one night a week is piano night. You know what I mean?
I like that idea.
Like
piano night.
Yeah, like it's. I'm sure your piano's set up somewhere around you, right?
It is. It's right over here. You can probably see the corner of it right here.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I can. Yeah. You should, dude, because you're so talented. And I can only speak for myself. Like, I enjoy the shit out of your streams. When I get to come in there, I enjoy them. And I would think it'd be fascinating to hear you play the piano and guitar, and maybe like Tuesday night, it's going to give your voice a break.
Totally.
And you're just going to jam. And then I'll be in there just going, how many fucking bits to get you to play the Imperial March? You know what I mean? Or like something like that. Like, how fucking
Lily to sing.
Right. Like, how cool would that be if you just played the Imperial March or Princess Leia's theme, because it's all piano, right?
Totally.
It's fucking rad, man.
I like that idea. I do.
You know what I mean? And like,
that would be great.
And it's just another expansion of the out of body experience, right? Hey, we're going to try something new. Let's play the piano tonight. Totally. Boom.
Yeah,
totally. And that one night that I did do it, I had such a good time. So I definitely want to bring that back and do that a little more.
Sure.
Dude, and speaking of things that you've been doing more lately, I've been able to catch your late night out of body after dark streams.
Thanks.
Ooh, after dark.
That's been fun, man.
I want to hear more about these. Like, what kind of, because I don't really know. I just know you've kind of now out of the blue started streaming late. So have you had like a schedule shift or?
No, here's the thing is like, I used to spend this time either, catching up on a TV show or watching a streamer. I'm up till like 3 a.m. every night. Like, it's just kind of who I am. And so
that's 3 a.m. West Coast.
Yes, is 6 a.m. for you.
6 a.m.
Yeah.
East.
So I usually I don't know, it just kind of depends on the night, but recently usually I wait till Lily goes to bed. That's the thing, is like I want to spend as much time with Lily as possible when she gets home. And so when she gets home, I try to log off Twitch, leave the lurks up, all 12 tabs, and then we go hang out and we do our thing. We usually just watch a show, make dinner, do whatever, but that's something I've been trying to do more recently is like disconnect myself from Twitch when she's home, because I know that our time together is so limited. And so yeah, usually she does that. And then when she goes to bed, which is around, it kind of depends on the night, but most of the time it's around 11. So recently I've just been, because usually I will just go to my office. I'll watch a stream for a half hour, and then I'll go play video games for a little bit. But recently I've just been hitting go live when I play the video games. And recently my guilty pleasure game has been Dead by Daylight. I've been playing it a ton. And
it's a great game.
So I struggled to get into it at first. The first like 2 hours of me playing the game was fucking painful. Like it was hard to get into. Like I feel like I got my ass kicked.
Right.
Like
you probably did.
You're low level. You like don't know what's going on. You don't have any perks, so everything takes forever.
Yep. And like luckily I had some people to play with and kind of explain some of the things to me, but they were also pretty new. So they were just kind of explaining the basics.
That's the best.
Yeah. Right. When you're all discovering it together, it was fun. We were all getting our asses handed to us, feeling. But I've just been, once I've kind of gotten the hang of the game, I was watching more people play it than I was playing it myself. And that kind of honestly made me want to play it more, but also taught me a ton of things. I feel like the same thing kind of happened with Battlefront. Like once I met Chronic and stuff, I was playing with them a lot, but then I took a little break and all I was doing was watching. And Chronic's hella good at Battlefront too. Like I think a lot of people don't necessarily realize that, but he's actually a very, very, very good player. Even though he runs around with a helmet on half the time and can't see shit, and he's still having a good time talking to chat. Like he's a very good player. So just watching him my watch time in his channel is about a month, 30 days worth of watch time. So when you watch somebody play that much, you pick up a lot of things. And I feel like same kind of thing happened with DBDs. I was just watching a lot of people play it. Mike Naders is somebody who late night I lurk in his stream a lot, fellow Garrison member. But yeah, I just watching him play a lot, and starting to pick up some things of the game, and then gave it a couple more runs once I felt like I knew what I was doing, and now I actually really enjoy the game. And now I really don't care if I die. Like I die most of the time anyways, but it's just a fun game. It's more fun with friends always. I 100% think video games are designed to bring people closer together. Like some of my greatest childhood memories are playing games with my siblings. That's why I feel like me and my brothers are best friends, because we spent so much time together doing something that we all enjoy.
You can definitely bond in video games 100%.
Yeah. So
I agree.
I
some of my greatest moments are some of my greatest moments in history are due to a video game. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Just because you beat a boss that you've been working on for 4 months, or playing Call of Duty and rushing home because it's Modern Warfare 2 and all you wanted to be in the first lobby with the 8 guys so you could be on the A team that night and just shoot the shit with your friends and just murder related people. Yes, I get it.
Or my favorite nights, some of them growing up, where we had a friend who was a little wealthier, so he of course had 2 TVs, so we would go over and do Halo 4v4s, one TV, one team on one TV, one team on the other TV. And yeah, those are some of my greatest memories, man.
Yeah. And it's speaking of like friends and Dead by Daylight, I want to bring up this game too, just because I want to hear your opinion on it, if you've heard about it. Have you heard about Prop Night?
Oh my gosh, I have laughed my ass off watching people play that game. I have not played it myself,
right?
But it's basically like Dead by Daylight, except for when you're a survivor, you can turn yourself into any of the objects that are on the map. So you try to hide yourself and camouflage yourself within the map. And the hijinks that happened in that game are just so funny. Like, I don't know why, but the game just makes me laugh, bro. So I have enjoyed watching people play that.
Yeah, I did some research on Steam. It looks like the upcoming updates seem to like buff the killers even more. So they're a little bit more broken. And now they've added a building mechanic to it. It looks like the survivors can like build little, I don't know, pieces of barrier in front of doorways and whatnot.
That's interesting.
But what and the Steam reviews, if you go look at it, it's mixed because a lot of people are complaining about the matchmaking system and how killers are broken and whatnot. But I feel like the caveat with this game is have a squad of 5 people. 4 of your friends are survivors. 1 of them is a killer. And the main goal is to just have fun for everyone. Troll them with props, troll the killer by knocking into it, stuff like that. Because to me, this game looks so great and it looks so much fun. To me, it looks more fun than Dead by Daylight, but I know that a lot of people would definitely, some people would disagree, others would agree. But I can't wait. I'd love to get like some sort of community night together, just 5 people trolling each other.
I'm super down to give that game a shot.
Hey, Atrax, less talk, more action. Get it done.
I know. I have to buy the game first. That's the hardest part.
Oh, it's not a free to play.
No, it's $20.
So not bad. Yeah, not bad.
It's not too bad. No, it's not.
So it's not too bad, but it's also it's tough too because like I struggle with this a lot. It's like, oh, the game's only $20, but like you got to ask yourself, if I play it one time for 2 hours, was that worth $20?
Right.
You know what I mean? And like, okay, so if you do that now, if you do that, I look at it as, okay, if I play a game for I'll put it this perspective. Friends of mine play Final Fantasy 14. I'll pay $30 for a 2-month sub and only play it one night for 2 hours. But that one night for 2 hours was worth its weight in gold in the money because I got to hang out with my friends and have a good time.
Totally.
Even though I'm like level 35 in the game and they're all maxed out, but it's still the point of just being able to play,
games with friends.
Yes.
I always see it comparable to like if I went out to a movie or to a bar or whatever sort of activity going out, how much money would I spend per hour approximately there? And then compare it to a game.
You always get a better deal with the game.
Yeah, it's like I always have the game afterwards. It's not like my money's gone. I can still download it. I still have the disc, whatever. People rarely buy discs anymore. But if you do, right, you still have it.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely it's comparable, but I think that game looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I definitely want to give it a shot. My biggest problem, though, is I am not joking when I say I have at least 30 unopened games in my library. Never downloaded them, haven't played them. I just like, I get sucked into a game, and that's the only game I play for like months. That's kind of how I do when I play video games, and so DBD has been my one I've been sucked into for the last few months. Last month actually it's been but yeah, I feel so bad buying new games when I have those poor neglected games in my library that deserve to be played.
My Steam library is the same. There's like 160 games in my Steam library and I probably played 25.
Yeah,
or I played or I've played 50 of them but only played them for like 15 minutes each. You know what I mean? That's what the Steam sales do to you. Oh, this
for
game
real,
looks awesome.
100%. That's what Steam sales do.
Oh, this game looks
it's
awesome.
It's only $9.
Yeah, it's only $9.
75% off. This is great. I'll just swoop it up. I'll play it with the homies one day.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right. Oh no, they definitely know what they're doing. So this is a super hard hitting question and important to the podcast. Who is your favorite Star Wars character?
Okay. When I was growing up, it was Chewbacca. I think when I started watching the prequels, though, it changed to Obi-Wan because I love Ewan McGregor. I think a lot of Obi-Wan's story obviously wasn't told in the original trilogy. But man, Ewan McGregor, dude, he's just such a good actor, bro. He's incredible, and he's so lovable, and so well. He plays the character so well, and yeah, Obi-Wan for me all day. Which, speaking of, I cannot freaking wait for the new series. I've been dying since they announced it. They could not come quick enough.
Right? May cannot. That's reals. Too many months away. Too many months away.
It's like 3 months from tomorrow. Not like I'm counting.
Yes. But here's the thing. How much money did Disney have to pay those guys to relive those roles?
Probably a large lump sum.
Millions.
And honestly, though, they were probably stoked about doing it, though.
But which do you think cost more? Redoing Luke to make him look young, or getting Obi-Wan back?
Would you say cost more, or it was cheaper?
Which is cheaper?
Getting Obi-Wan. Making Luke. I'm sorry.
Cheaper?
Yeah, I said it backwards. Well, don't forget that deepfakes guy, the best deepfakes guy on YouTube, got hired by Disney.
Right.
So they're probably only paying him $150,000 a year, or $200,000 a year.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
That. So like they own that guy now.
Bro,
he
did such a service. Yeah, that's true. He did such a service to Boba Fett, Luke, though, bro.
Right. Oh, no
kidding.
100%.
Obi-Wan was my choice too.
Nice.
Let's go.
Oh man, it's I've yet to meet somebody whose favorite character is the same as mine.
Yours is R2-D2, right?
Yeah. No, it's just it'll come someday.
It will. It'll come.
Have you had any C-3POs?
Nope. I will say, out of if as shitty as the sequel trilogy is for a lot of people, the one thing that I loved was C-3PO finally got his time. Like that trilogy was C-3PO. Anthony Daniels finally got his time, and I was so happy about it.
Especially episode 2 when they're going through the droid factory.
Yes.
That's one of my favorite C-3PO scenes ever.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I mean. Like he finally got recognized in the sequel trilogy, and it was good. Out of body. What are your goals for your stream?
That's a great question. The other thing with my channel that I've changed kind of recently too, which I just feel like I should mention, is I've recently made my channel a mature content channel. So just a heads up for anybody looking at the channel. The biggest reason is that I don't know, I mostly wanted to not feel bad about swearing and smoking weed on stream, honestly.
Yes. Yes.
So it's legal here. It's obviously I'm not doing anything wrong on stream. I would kind of feel bad if I was promoting that to younger people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
and there's some sort of legality around it. I'm sure.
So bro, go to the store and buy a 2-liter bottle of soda, cut off the bottom, get a 5-gallon bucket of water, put a fucking thing on it. Do gravity bong rips on the shit. Yeah, do some gravity bong rips on stream late night.
Oh,
it's
my
after
word.
I love it. No, but I have been on the late nights. I've got a second cam, and I've been like rolling joints on stream and stuff. It's pretty fun. It's a good time. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but
but here's the thing:
it is the highest tier content.
Listen, just be yourself.
Yeah, and that was a big thing. Honestly, I didn't want to feel like I had to hide kind of a part of me, because I mean, it sounds lame, but honestly, like smoking weed is a big part of like who I am and what I do. Like a lot of my best friends are stoners. Like that's kind of a lot of. I don't want to say it is part of my identity, but it almost kind of is, because.
So what?
Yeah, it is.
That's okay.
I'm a huge stoner.
Dude,
it is.
Massachusetts, it's fully recreational legal. Yeah. They deliver that shit. Okay.
Yeah, totally.
Around every corner, there's fucking stores.
Yeah.
Like now, I don't smoke weed, right? I occasionally I will, and I get wicked banged up, and I get wicked laughy, and I end up eating an entire box of fucking Cheez-Its. But like, I don't do it, but like everywhere you go, dude. So like
everywhere
where I live, we have the best beer in the world, right? And like the breweries were crazy because there always used to be like lines to like get beer. But then there's this weed shop, and once a month they do this crazy release of this strain. Dude, there's lines around the building.
Oh yeah.
There's fucking like if you look at the license plate in the parking lots, dude, like 7 hours away, like Maryland are driving here to buy this strain of weed. And I'm just like, man,
yeah,
there ain't no fucking seeds and shit in that weed.
Yeah, it was crazy. I remember because so I was living in Washington when they legalized it there, and then I moved here and they legalized it right after I moved here. So I don't know if it's a thing with me moving to states and then they start legalizing things, but anyways, every time that it happens, the dispensaries are, I just like, dude, the lines were around the block at every single dispensary for the first like month of it happening. It was really wild.
It was all over the news. It was everywhere. I remember that too.
But the thing I will say is you never hear about an enraged pothead goes home and beats up somebody.
Yeah, never.
Ever. The only thing they beat up is the fucking half gallon of ice cream.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Yep.
But that's what I mean. You know, and there's not like that's, I just keep saying that. It's like you never hear about somebody who's stoned beats somebody up or causes some trouble. Like,
nah.
And why shouldn't weed be legal when booze is so much more worse for
you? It really is. 100%.
100%.
Yeah.
You know, Marcus, you brought up a great comment, and that is that they just demolish ice cream. Out of body, what type of ice cream do you like?
Cookie dough. What's your favorite?
What do you? Well, oh yeah,
cookie dough.
Sorry, excuse me. What's your favorite that you just demolish, that you just go after?
I've got it in the freezer right now. It's Tillamook cookie dough.
Yes,
cookie dough. Damn
Tillamook cookie dough. Yep.
Best ice cream.
So Tillamook is a cheese factory here in Oregon, and it's very popular. Like literally everybody everyone in Oregon only buys Tillamook cheese. It's a weird thing. It's a very culty, strange thing about Oregon. But when I moved here and I tried the cheese, I understood why. You can go to the factory too and like see how it's all made, and they give out bomb samples. And I'm telling you, Oregon's just beautiful, man. And that's why this is why I love Portland, man. Is so where I live, I'm kind of in the suburbs, but downtown Portland is about a 15-minute drive that way, or maybe a little more depending on traffic. And then literally the ocean is an hour and a half at the most this way. And then if you drive that way, you're in the middle of like vineyards and wine country. And if you drive that way, if you drive that way, you're into a mountain, Mount Hoods, where there's snowboarding and skiing. And like, this is just such a prime location for anything you want to do. So I really like it. And I feel like it's not too big of a city. Like when I lived in Seattle, because I moved straight from Montana to Seattle 4 days after I graduated high school, I got the fuck out. I was like, I'm out. I hate Montana. And I moved to Seattle, and it was a little big for me, and it was almost too much, because there were times where I would be stuck in traffic in Seattle and I just hated my life, and I was like, why am I doing this? But once I moved to Portland, I realized there is a nice medium, and Portland is kind of a nice medium for me. It's like, it is one of the smallest big cities, and that's what I love about it. And there's so much different things to do. Like there's so many outdoorsy things that are like a half hour or less drive away, as opposed to living in Seattle. Most of that stuff was like an hour drive away, you know?
Right.
So I love the Portland area. Anyways, I got way sidetracked. Your question was, what are my plans for the future? That's why I got in the mature thing. My plans for the future are just to be me, honestly, and just try to be, do the things that I'm already doing in my life, which are playing video games and playing music, and be basically as transparent as I can about who I am and what I do. And because I don't know, I enjoy my life. And if other people want to hang out and enjoy that with me, then great, If not, then I'm still going to be doing it. You know what I mean?
Your response is a lot nicer than mine. When it comes to that. So speaking of streaming, What's your favorite stream moment?
I'm gonna put most of these kind of just in the same category, but the best moments for me were the fundraiser that we've done. So I've participated in 3 different fundraisers over the last, I think I've been streaming for 8 months is about what I'm at. Let's see. Wait, we're in February, March, April. Oh shit, we're at 10 months. Never mind.
Awesome.
I've been streaming for about 10 months.
Let's go.
Yeah, my year is coming up in April.
That's gonna be a party.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think
April's
12th maybe was my first one, something like that. It's like during the second week of April was my first stream.
I gotta look. Holy fuck!
Something
How
like
cool
that.
would that be?
April 12th. I want to say it's the 12th. I'm pretty sure that's right. I could look on my Instagram and look for the post about it, but I'm pretty sure it's the 12th.
Celebrate it on April 20th.
I did stream that day, of course. That's my favorite day.
That'd be pretty good.
I already requested it off, even though it's February. I requested it off weeks ago because it's my favorite holiday.
Nice.
But yeah, what was the question? I forgot what we were talking about.
What is your favorite stream moment?
Yes, favorite stream moment.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. The fundraisers that we've done have been the best because so for the 3 that we've done, the first 2 we were raising money for the Trevor Project, which is an organization that focuses on suicide prevention and a crisis hotline for LGBTQ plus youth. And it's really important because obviously, there are other suicide hotlines out there, but this one is life affirming and, isn't going to judge you for the way that you live your life and is, going to confirm to you that your life is important no matter who you are. And a lot of people, in the LGBTQ, because they're alienated by their friends or their families because of the way they are, don't feel like they have people around them that care. And, reaching out to a stranger is really hard, but it's a super important lifeline. And, I actually had a friend, I was hanging out in a friend's stream like the day after we did the Trevor Project fundraiser where we raised, it was just a crazy amount of money. I'll bring up those numbers in just a sec. But I was in a friend's stream and she was like, when I was a teenager, I called the Trevor hotline because I was extremely suicidal and somebody talked me down off a ledge. And, I'm extremely grateful for what they're doing. And the fact that you guys did a fundraiser for that really means a lot to me. And so hearing that,
that's deep,
was one of the greatest, like the deepest, it wasn't even while I was streaming, but it was in somebody else's stream when they're like, you doing this thing is really important for other people. And for me, I felt in that moment that was the most important thing I had ever done with my music, because, before, a lot of my music, I feel like was, self-serving. I would be lying if I said I didn't, I didn't want to become famous or be a rock star or whatever, you know what I mean? But like, for doing things like this it's completely, it's, not about me. It's about something greater. And those moments for me were like incredible. The third event that we did, we were raising money for Games for Love, which I know you've already talked about a little bit on the podcast and in previous episodes, but basically they raise money for children's hospitals to bring video games into there. And, for somebody who is a huge video game lover, knowing that, I'm sure many of us who are gamers understand that during the pandemic, the video games were our escape. And, you can imagine how you can be being a kid in a hospital needing some escape, and video games, those people bringing that to them is just a huge, important cause. Like, I know a lot of people don't understand that, like people who aren't video gamers, but those of us who are gamers understand how huge that is.
We raised $8,000.
Yep.
In 24 hours.
Crazy.
That's insane.
That was a tremendous, I remember that was awesome on the community, because how many different streamers were involved? You guys did a train.
It was
right?
like
it wasn't just
every 2 hours,
30, right? Almost 30.
Yeah.
Every 2 hours.
I was number 2.
Yeah.
I went number 2. And I think me just alone, I think during my stream it was like $1,000.
Crazy.
Or more.
Yeah.
Dude, it's crazy.
It was insane.
When people know you're doing something like that, like fuck the subs, fuck the bits, all that stuff. But like when people know that you're doing something to help kids, it hits your heart. Like my friend,
100%.
Now he does not watch Twitch. He'll pop into my stream once in a great while. he plays PUBG and like Call of Duty by himself. He just plays online. You know what I mean? Like, it's who he is. But like, as soon as he heard we were doing a charity for kids, dropped $100. Like,
Damn.
like that's not a small feat. And to watch people do that shit, it's wild. And streamer after streamer after streamer after streamer after streamer, it's that train was crazy.
Yeah, it was rolling
and the
all
amount
day.
of money. Yeah, like just to do that. Wow.
Yeah, so that I think is definitely the height of my streaming career is doing all of these charity events, and for me, there's just been not a greater moment. I really, there's nothing that compares. I can't even think of anything else that would be close to it.
Tell everybody where they can find you.
Yeah, so you can find me at twitch.tv/outofbodymusic. You can find me on Instagram as well. That's mr.out.body. Apparently Out of Body Music is taken on Instagram, so couldn't get that one. I'm not on Twitter. I don't know. I took me so long to even get on Instagram that Twitter was just too much. So I did not
That's fair.
create myself a Twitter. You can find me on MySpace. No, I'm just kidding.
MySpace,
I'm kidding.
MySpace.
But yeah,
thanks so much for
and then the other place. Dude. Oh, the other place too is if you ever want to check out the music that I make is Spotify. Just search the Out of Body Experience. Make sure you put the in there, because if you just do Out of Body Experience, it's this weird, like trippy, like mantra music. It's interesting, but the Out of Body Experience. Yeah, you'll see a picture of me on there. I'm a crazy guy with long hair, so you'll see me on there.
Thanks so much for coming on the show, dude.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me, man. I really
and
appreciate
Atrax,
it. Great.
And Atrax, thanks so much again.
Absolutely, anytime.
What are you guys talking about in here?
Find out next episode of Working Class Nerds.